Hello, folks of YouTube. I'm Essel. Welcome back to Danganronpa. We are here. Box 16 is jamming out in the background, and we've got a lot to do. So we've got a corpse to inspect. We've got plenty to do. So let's dig right in. We're in the Chapter 5 investigation. If you missed it, there should be a playlist link below and or after the video. So make sure you saw the prior episodes on the channel below, of course, as well. If you haven't yet, make sure you come by the stream and follow to make sure you can find me when I go live, twitch.tv/SL_TV, so you can join us and chat along and hang out with us live. So come on by. Otherwise, if you have comments, you want to share your thoughts below, and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to see more VODs, come by the Discord, etc. That's all the business. Let's do it. We should do Splatfest concepts for community polls. I agree. Thank you. I don't wear this jacket on stream ever, I don't think. But it was kind of cold today, and I was like, maybe we should wear the fleece today. It's a fleece kind of day. Up in the frigid north, it was cold today. Okay, fake nails, we saw this, yep. Seems difficult to have the fake nails on Kyoko's gloves. It looks like it's the Foxhound logo. You can't get that one past me. Okay. Let's see. Upper half of the body got set on fire and the explosion was totally blackened. Also, the top half of the body is wet. It got set on fire and Ashton threw water on it. Since I threw water on the part that was on fire, the top half, the bottom half is still dry. In other words, there's nothing strange with the top half being wet. There isn't, right? Ablin. Yes, that is true. That's entirely plausible. Well, last time I thought this was a fake body because we saw wires. My only concern is that I would believe you that we should make this really an important note that the body announcement happened in the camera room, but I'm willing to give this a little bit of leeway because Monokuma wasn't rezzed yet, is my only thinking. What if this was a nobody? Sorry. I was talking with somebody about, it's Riku, they put bugs in him the other day, and now I'm thinking about that. What is the line? It's Riku, they put bugs in him. Is that really the whole line?
Mickey, it's Riku. They put bugs in him.
Yeah. Yes, no, I think it's very good to keep that in mind. Hero. It's Taka. They put bugs in him. Sorry. The gym, good call. Only one little piece left. Good call. It went up? Okay. Never mind. The lower half of the body didn't get wet at all. Okay. I know. Welcome back, Hydra. Say fellow, someone mentioned the Danganronpa. So true. The gym, that'd be wild. Zombie Monokuma. Yeah, that's a good point. If Toko planted the bomb, that'd be very wild. Okay, but don't tell me. I'm thinking about this again. I forgot about this. I will think about it. Don't tell me though. The song is amazing. No, entirely fair. What was I gonna say? Yeah, welcome back to Hydra. It would be wild to have for people to have family 14 raids. That'd be very, very potent. Those got at 7:30. This was after 7:30. Some chickens. There are. 4 chickens?
Yo.
Yo, what's going on, Makoto? I'm glad you're here. Listen, do you remember how many chickens there were in here? Of course, there were precisely 5. Yeah, right?
Huh?
Huh? What's wrong? Nobody tell Mista from JoJo.
Huh?
The one short. I wonder when disappeared.
But... What?
He was definitely here before nighttime last night, and there were 5 last night. Going from 5 to 4 is going to have an impact on the structure of the world.
Conspiracy!
Conspiracy! Like a jigsaw puzzle. If even a single piece disappears, the entire world will remain unfinished. Hero getting more and more unhinged is fun. He's still not, you know, he's still Hero. Could you be related to the case? It's possible. Give me 1 second, please. Get to push one button on my phone real quick. Okay. Look at all those chickens. Alright, the flower. We'll just stay away for now. That makes sense. Hero is very wild. He's very... Like, I went from bewildered that he survived the first part of the game to bewildered that he was still around to frustrated because he got increasingly frustrating for a while. And now he's become, like, not, he always kind of was a conspiracy nut, but now he's, like, all in, and it's getting funny. So I'm like, looping back around. Yeah, Toko is, you know, completely the Joker at this point. Which is, you know, good for her, if she wants to be the Joker. She clearly wants to be the Joker. The knife, is this the knife? Yes, it is. There's no way it's not. Okay. The force of the explosion threw it over here? Yeah, right. Front to back, fatal injury. Okay, this knife looks familiar. Yes, agreed. That's it! It's the knife that that person was holding. This is getting really weird. There are just too many strange coincidences. I agree. Yeah, the knife, the explosion shouldn't have blown the blood off the knife, right? There's no blood anywhere. Where the person in the mask was that attacked me last night, they were holding that knife. And that same knife was used to stab the same masked attacker we found here. So maybe this person got stabbed because... We did actually shoot before this. When they got attacked, when they attacked, I was in kind of a trance. Maybe I reacted by grabbing the knife. Maybe then I... Yeah, this really is Kyoko. I mean, Kyoko's the one that attacked me. Why the mask? I just don't know. Kyoko came by the room after Makoto. There's no way. I remember anything clearly from last night. Oh, true. It can't be. There's no way. There's no blood on it. I'm curious if it says there's no blood on it. I'm curious if we just mentioned it to assume that it was like blown off by the explosion, but we'll keep an eye out. You licked the blood off. Come on. Dusty and disorganized. What is this? Is this a tarp? Wait, was there a tarp in here before? No. There was not. Oh, that's so sad, Hydra. Oh my goodness. The top is wet and covered with mud and grime. The underside, totally clean, completely dry. One side of the tarp is wet and dirty. Something about that bothers me. Okay. Crazy diamonds. Anything else of note before we start talking to people? I guess we can start talking. True, Waffles, true. So who does that body belong to? Whoever it is, I'm not gonna look. I don't want to faint anymore. That's entirely fair. Okay, chickens, yes. Look at all those chickens. Listen, Makoto, do you know how the body looked, before it blew up? If I remember right, it was wearing some kind of mask and a big, coat. True, look at some of those chickens. True, not all. There was a nice thing out of the stomach, and the area around was stained with blood. Apparently the wound had stopped bleeding, but the blood on the body was still wet. Byakuya said not to touch it in order to avoid getting all bloody. Byakuya said that. Let's keep that in mind. Let's keep that in mind. But for how much blood was in the body, I didn't see him on the ground around it.
Okay.
Oh, thanks. That was a big help. Now that you mentioned it, explained it, I totally remember how it looked. Well, having to talk about it like that helped me remember that a lot better, too. So thank you, too. 11 o'clock right now.
You're serious?
And, well, let's think like how we first found the body. And the body was found, huh? Okay, let's keep that in mind. Now it's almost 7 o'clock. Tina at 7:30. The gym. The pickaxe found the body. Or 9. We're probably 9 on the dot now. Right around 9.
You know?
So if the body was in here before 7:30, which right now is plausible, that could have happened, the sprinklers could have washed away the blood. I think you're right. Body was found at 9. It's a pretty small jump, but he did it, though. Okay. Good time, Makoto. I wanted to talk to you. What do you want to talk about?
So, in other words,
I'd like to hear your alibi. Alibi?
in other words,
Correct. I'd love to hear where you were after nighttime began last night. I was sick, so I was asleep all night. But why asking about that now, and what's nighttime got to do with it?
naturally.
Isn't it obvious? This murder took place after nighttime. How can you know that for sure? Because just after nighttime began, it came to the garden. I was going around looking for everyone, so I can go tell them I'm on Akuma. Hiro's been spending most of his time in the garden the last 2 days, so I figured he'd be here. And I can confirm that when I arrived last night, there was no body here.
In other words,
So the murder could only have taken place at some point during nighttime after I left the garden. However, Toko, Hiro, Hina, and I were in the gym together the entire night last night. What? Once I found Hiro in the garden, we immediately went to Toko and Hina's rooms to get them. At that point, we went to the gym and began dismantling Monokuma. As a precaution, we made sure to not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. In other words, all four had airtight alibis. Only two who don't have alibis are me and Kyoko.
that's right.
And if the victim really is Kyoko, then I'm the only one without an alibi. Also, when we went to go get Tina and Toka, we stopped by your room as well.
What?
But you never came to the door, so where precisely were you? I'm telling the truth, I was in my room, but I was dead asleep, I had a fever, so that's hardly an alibi. I know. So, what now? You seem to be at quite disadvantage here. Okay, that's really bad, isn't it? It is, Makoto. That is really bad. Oh god, really? Sprinklers? Huh? Hold on. So the sprinklers turn on at 7:30 each morning, right? Then, if the body was here before them, the sprinklers should have gotten it wet. Which means the murder's not taken place. Tarpa's over, do you think? That sounds plausible. Even over the knife? I mean, it could work. The body was wet, though. What's the thing? From the bucket, too. So the only thing I'm thinking about is, like, Makoto made a point of noting that it wasn't weird the body was wet because of the bucket. Right? Not done yet. Okay, other areas, that fragment, we're gonna find that out. So again, don't tell me that's the corpse really Kyoko, that's true. Was that also Kyoko who attacked me last night? But here's the thing. I just realized. The symbol, that's the Monokuma eye. Yeah, I think drugging Makoto is very plausible. Okay, Kyoko was never the kind of person to talk about herself that much. Into Kyoko's room. Okay, key to her room.
It's all clear now.
Okay,
What?
Just give.
Yep. I'll see if we borrow a room key. Alright, Byakuya. Can we grab the room key? Hey, Byakuya? Just give... If you come up with an alibi, I'd be happy to hear it later at the trial. Oh no, it's not about that. You have the key to Kyoko's room, right? I was hoping I could borrow it. I'm afraid I can't take that risk. You're the prime suspect after all.
What?
Of course, if I were to go with you, that'd be a different story. Then where would you go with me? Sorry, I have my own agenda to take care of. Find me later again, and we'll see.
Goodbye.
Depending on my mood, I may go with you, or I may not. Come back later. Alright. Check out that one area. You know, the area. Okay. The other eye. Come on now. Come on now, folks. Oh, you know it, Boone. You know it. But I figured it wouldn't be here.
You know?
I just found something. What is it? It's... It's the bomb. A bomb? And that bomb went missing. There's no doubt about that. The fragments they found in the garden are from the bomb. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You did have a call bit. You can have a call bit. You can have a little a call bit. Okay.
Let's go.
I'll check out Kyoko's room, right? Very well. Let's go. Oh, wait for me. Byakuya walked out without a second glance, and I hurried after him on our way to the dorms. Calling it now, there's nothing in her room. It's very bare. Well, then here we go. Okay. Byakuya took out the key and slid it into the keyhole, and then... click. And it's open. Looks like it, thanks. Nailed it. So this is Kyoko's room. Something on the table. It's a wood block decoration.
What?
What's that? What purpose does it serve? I think it's probably a key. The lockers that those really traditional public bathhouses use them for their lockers. I would never gone to a public bathhouse. That doesn't really surprise me. It's hard to picture Byakuya doing something like that.
It's certainly
But
possible.
if it is a key, I think I might know what it unlocks. Probably the Kyudo lockers. Really, what? So I'm mistaken. Yep. I'm pretty sure I saw something in the dojo this might go to. The dojo?
What?
What is it you're looking for? Nothing in particular. I thought I might find some kind of clue here. A clue that might help us understand Kyoko.
Come on.
You can't be serious. That's why you need to take time out of my search to come here. I'm sorry. Regardless, you plan on poking around at random. You're doomed to no matter how much time you take. Surely you're something more concrete, something to give us some sort of direction here. More concrete. Oh, I know. Earlier, Kyoko gave me something. Oh, what's this?
It's true.
Open it if something ever happens to me. I'm sure I have it here somewhere. Found it. What's in the envelope? Kyoko gave it to me. She said if something ever happened, I should open it.
Interesting.
Well, something has certainly happened, so open it. Okay. Open the envelope and look inside. Inside with a single piece of paper. Under the sheets.
What?
That's all that was in there. Yeah, looks like it. Under the sheets, what could it... I don't know, Makoto, what do you think? Sounds good, Shrew. Enjoy, I will hopefully see you later. But could something be hidden under the bed sheets? Part of me didn't expect to find anything, but I looked at the sheets. What's this? I found a crumpled up piece of paper. Whoa! Class 78 student registry. Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student, lying hidden somewhere in the school. The one they call the ultimate despair. Watch out for her. Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student, lying hidden somewhere in the school.
I see.
It appears to be Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student, lying somewhere hidden somewhere in the school. The one they call the ultimate despair. Yeah, it looks like it. That's probably the other thing Kyoko stole when she stuck in the headmaster's room along with the key. Love this. God, you're so annoying. I tell you, it was a key and that's it. This must be the blank that Monokuma was talking about. Kyoko said a death without meaning was unappealing, and this is what she left behind. Oh, we should probably do that, yeah. You're right. Yeah, I was gonna make like a big paragraph. There we go, perfect. Oh, perfect. Fantastic. The positioning is just perfect. Okay, there we go. Yeah, exactly. Okay. I don't have time for your sentimental indulgences. Hurry up and finish your search. Okay. Okay, I made an effort to pull myself together and look down the profile sheet. Name, Mukuro Ikusaba. Perfect. Now you can see it. Female? The ultimate soldier. Okay. Alright. Metal Gear. I was right about Metal Gear Theory. If I may, real quick, do, you know, Reagan, Mob Psycho hand gestures real quick. Where's my Pepe Sylvia? Where is it? Kyoko. Mind wiped. The ultimate soldier would fit Kyoko's background really well. I'm just saying. I don't know about it, but like a Captain America and Host Peak is so true. Although small for her age, she was a military specialist trained in every weapon type imaginable. Okay, yep. Showed interest in the military from childhood and found herself completely absorbed in it. In elementary school, she won a survival game tournament and began writing for military magazines. Just before entering middle school, while she and her family were on vacation in Europe, she disappeared. The story of a young Japanese girl being kidnapped quickly took over Japanese media outlets. An intense international investigation turned up no information and she was never found. However, she reappeared in Japan 3 years later, alone and completely unannounced. She revealed she had joined a mercenary group known as Fenrir for those 3 years, hence the hand. She insisted she hadn't been kidnapped and that she had received battle training of her own volition. However, she never revealed why she decided to return home when she did. We may now begin the bidding for shares of Kyoko equals Mukuro Ikusaba theory. Begin. Ultimate Soldier. Mercenary group? Fenrir. This doesn't feel real. The world I grew up in, it's a completely different dimension. Going all in, yeah. I think this is seeming pretty possible. It's like one's nonfiction, the other's sci-fi. There's no way to even compare the two. That's how different this is. That's how I saw things as just an ordinary person, but then
I see.
I never imagined I would hear the name Fenrir in a place like this. You recognize it?
Naturally.
The Fenrir Mercenary Group is a collection of battle-crazed warmongers, naturally. But they do have their uses, and they always get the job done. That's worth remembering. This is all part of a world totally removed from the one I live in. I have to say, I'm intrigued. Every rumor I've heard says that Fenrir is always...
Found it!
Whoa! I feel like our hero is becoming a bit player, and a bit player is becoming our hero. That's you.
What?
What have you got in our pretty little hand here?
What?
Uh-oh, you found her profile? So what if we did?
Hey! Come
Don't
on
freak
now.
out on me. I'm not gonna hold it against you or anything. And in case you're wondering, I don't hold it against Kyoko either, even though she stole it and hid it. After all, there's no rule against stealing, is there? As we discussed. But who I can't forgive is Miss Ogami, who broke the rules and busted into the headmaster's room. Maybe I'll drag her corpse out here and slice it up and devour it. Bears are omnivorous, you know.
What?
Are rule violations really so unforgivable? Stonks of demon theory rising? You're quite adamant about those regulations of yours. Of course I am. A proper school life is built on the dedication to organization and order. Which is why even I, as the school headmaster, have to follow the regulations myself. I don't really believe in demon theory, I don't think. I think demon theory is unlikely. I think there is something to be said, though, about the rules being so important. Review the rules. I will review the rules. Oh, so you're saying you have to follow your own rules as well?
Of course!
Absolutely. I can't even complain about how unfair it all is now, can I? In fact, on the subject of fairness, would you like to know something interesting? Interesting? The one writing all the rules. They're actually one of the participants in this killing game. And her name is Junko Enoshima. Bye. Stock ticker flying up the screen. Purchase stocks. I can't point behind you. Put a stock ticker behind me. Stock image of stock exchange. I'll stock image. I need a stock image. No, I need a stock. I need something with I need something with watermarks plastered all over it. Hold on. No, I need. No, I need it. Oh, I found a free one. What? We actually should get the what thing as a like sound clip. If I ever make a soundboard, that'd be a great sound clip to have for the soundboard. Okay. Okay, there we go. Junko, stonks, purchase them. Go. Okay. Don't think I ever told you how many prisoners there actually were, did I? I was thinking I should probably clarify that. You!
Hey,
There she is. when you first got together in the main hall way back when, there were 15 people there, right? And as you can see here, we got some breaking news. SL_theories right now has just made another decisive move to try to figure out the truth of the foggy school of Hopi Academy. Is that good enough 50 answer for you? I think that first meeting may have led to a little misunderstanding among you all. Among? A misunderstanding? Are you saying?
In other words.
That's right. There weren't actually 15 of you.
Yes, indeed.
The total number of students taking part of this game was actually 16. 16, then Mukuro Ikusaba. This is why thank you, Ozzy, for the suggestion.
The 16th student, lying hidden somewhere in this school. The one they call the ultimate despair. Watch out for her.
The 16th student, Mukuro Ikusaba. She's part of the school life. She's the one making all the regulations is...
Why?
Why?
Huh?
Huh? Did you say something? Yeah, Mukuro is gaming. Why are you telling us this? Because it's good for the ratings! Oh, because... like I told you, this killing game is desperately popular. You wouldn't believe the ratings. And since we've got so many viewers now, I wanted to make sure everyone's on the same page. I don't want to wake up to a hurricane of complaints and hate mail, you know?
Yes,
Makes sense?
indeed. Well, now.
Okay, that's all you get for now. Oh, actually, I do have some revenge to get, so I have an extra bonus for you. Revenge? I want to get back at the sneaky Miss Kirigiri, so I'm going to share a little secret with you. Seriously.
Hey,
You know she wears those stupid gloves day in, day out all the time? Well, don't tell anyone I told you, but she wears them to cover a bunch of hideous scars she doesn't want anyone to see. What? Okay, now that's all you get. Okay. Okay. So, now, this doesn't prove anything. This proves that Kyoko is likely not the body upstairs, okay? What this does not prove is anything else. Because here's the deal. It looks like the body is Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student lying hidden somewhere in the school, the one they call the Ultimate Despair. Watch out for her. Right? That's what we think. But I'm not confident about that. That'll be convenience. Monokuma's account. Kyoko wears those gloves to cover a bunch of scars? So on the back of her hands. The tattoo. Wait, but no. Monokuma specifically said they were scars, right? And that's why Kyoko wears those gloves to hide the scars? Which means... those fake nails on the corpse. So... this puts us back into where I thought last time, which I believe Kyoko is most likely somebody who survived either the tragedy or a previous game. And that would explain how she got the scars, is as part of finishing that up. Yeah, why would the Ultimate Soldier wear fake nails? To blend in? Or if the Ultimate Soldier was also Junko Enoshima? Yes, exactly. Exactly, Bloom. Now we're thinking the same page. We're on the same page. Okay. Okay. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm pitching you ideas right now. I'm not pitching you. Actually, no. My brain's off. Sorry. This could be anybody. You're thinking about Kyoko again. Yeah. As usual. Huh?
What?
Forget about her. Well, matter right now is uncovering Monokuma's trap. His trap?
Such ignorance.
God must have really hated you to make you so dull. Don't you remember Monokuma just told us? He said there were 16 students, right? Which means Mukuro was a student here.
Right.
Obviously, Monokuma was trying to tell us that Mukuro was the one creating the rules of the game. Mukuro Ikusawa, the 16th student, blah, blah, blah. Well, why would he tell us that? And why now? He said he wanted to make things clear so there wouldn't be any complaints here. God, so true, Hydra. We need your help to live an honest student life at, oh, have alter ego trying to get your credit card? That would work every time. No, it's so true, Waffles. I'm sorry. During the theory, for people who have played Danganronpa, I'm sorry because my theory crafting, you just have to kind of smile emote at me. Go, yep. I don't know what you're talking about. The mere fact that he said that proves that Mukuro Kusaba, the 16th student, is connected to this case. That's why Monokuma revealed the existence of a 16th student. He needs to make our investigation fair. Mukuro's related to the case?
It's certainly possible.
Perhaps she's the one who killed Kyoko. What? That would explain why we have to have a class trial, wouldn't it? If she's a student and she killed someone, that would make her part of the school killing game. Mukuro is the killer? She killed Kyoko? Anyone should be able to come to that conclusion, don't you think? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, just puns. In fact, that's exactly what I thought when the investigation first began.
What? But,
based on what Monokuma just told us, I've changed my mind.
It's all clear now.
Mukuro Kusaba isn't the culprit. Huh? What makes you say that? We thought Mukuro, the ultimate despair, was the mastermind's true identity. But if that's true, Monokuma's behavior makes no sense. Why would the mastermind go out of their way to reveal themselves to us? That's a good point.
So, in other words...
True. True, Hydra. Mukuro giving us information that would raise questions about her would be bold, to say the least. It makes more sense then to assume Mukuro isn't the culprit. So that's the trap. They want us to suspect Mukuro until the wrong conclusion. Well, that's what makes sense to me. The way you say it does seem possible, but if that's really true, if Mukuro isn't the killer, then who is? He. Well, then our work here is finished. Let's move on. I'm sure other places need investigation.
Let's
the
go.
dojo key? Well, are you coming? Alright, door number 6. Twin lockers, wood block keys, just like those super traditional public bathhouses. Okay.
I see.
Coders, the locker farthest to the right.
Very
I do.
strange.
That's the only one that doesn't have a key in it at the moment. You understand what that means, right? I should probably use the key we found in the locker, right?
That's right.
Well, just try it. Okay. Thanks so much, Michael. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate the shout out. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you come to the stream. If you're watching on Twitch, go to YouTube. If I took out the wood block key and inserted it into the locker's metal lock, and click. The locker eagerly accepted the key and it opened. There are arrows in here. It looks like 10 in total. They look like they're made of titanium, which means they're quite strong despite how thin they are. Of course, without a bow, nothing but strong little sticks. Strong sticks? What's at the bottom there, though? Something else inside there? It's a wadded up ball of duct tape? Wonder what this is used for. Is that a bloodstain?
I see.
If that is, it means it must surely be related to the case. This duct tape is related to the case somehow? How could it possibly be involved? Fake murder weapon? Someone shoots Mukuro with a bow and then stabs her to cover it up? Music is going hard here. The bloody duct tape. Okay, that's all Walker has for now. Something wrong.
Very strange.
It's very odd, don't you think? The locker was hiding items that were clearly related to the case. But how did the key to the locker wind up in the victim's room?
Why?
Or perhaps... Byakuya? Get it. Come on, we need to continue to the next location. What next location?
What?
There's still something we need to look into. More research on Fenrir. Fenrir? You mean the mercenary group that Mukuro was a part of? Ugh. Fenrir, huh? But how are we supposed to find out the bottom of that? It was a bloody wad of duct tape. Isn't it obvious? Where in this school would you go to do research on something? Research? The archives? No, second floor archive. Archive will look on the village. General public doesn't have access to.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go. Hurry it up. Hurry it up. I believe there's a fire-related defender somewhere over here. Byakuya seems to have the archive at the back of his hand, then went straight to the shelf in the back. Ah, here we go. He quickly returned the file in hand.
I see.
Take a look at this. I have no idea what it says. What language is this? How did you make it all the way to high school without learning a single word of French? Very easily, actually. I'm pretty sure most high schoolers can speak French. Well, whatever. I'll be there for you. But I expect you to repay your debt 100 times over. 100 times? Isn't that kind of extreme? Is this the same CG as with Jack? Fenrir is an elite fighting unit based out of the Middle East. Unlike military contractors, they are a fierce group of soldiers who engage in direct combat. They claim that a single member is equivalent to an entire company of regular soldiers. Just like Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok, their mere presence did not strike fear into any enemy. They have been involved in countless military battles and operations, most of which are highly classified. Okay, wait, hold. However, some time ago, they completely ceased all activity. At present, their continued existence cannot be confirmed. There are unconfirmed reports that the key members of the group were all neutralized. Rumors indicate that they were killed to keep them from revealing the many state secrets they'd acquired. Some, however, believe there was mounting internal tension within the group, and they simply imploded. Shinra loves the Soldier Project? True.
What?
What is it? This all just sounds like some kind of alternate reality. Well, it isn't. This is our reality, the only reality. These people are part of our world. That is a weird amount of emphasis. That's all I'm saying. I really think it's strange that we emphasize this so heavily. I'm just saying. I just think it's a little. I just think it's a. You know what I'm saying? You know. That's all I'm saying. It's like a little. Are we adding multiverse theory to the docket, Essel? Like a little bit. A little bit. It would explain some things. Their battlefields aren't much different from our lives here. An unpredictable, unimaginable world. That's what makes it all so exciting. Exciting to place in the world where I would use. So, did anything jump out at you? This may be your last opportunity to learn about Fenrir. Now that you mention it. Ooh, Ben 10, so true. Oh yeah, true Eagles. The report says something about where the name Fenrir comes from, right? Fenrir is the Wolf of Ragnarok. Speaking of which, would you like a little bit of Norse mythology info dump? Apocalypse. True, Apocalypse Stonks. Thank you. Please purchase your Apocalypse Stonks at www.essel.tv. Go, go, go. Bye, bye, bye. To show the member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body. What? They got a tattoo of Fenrir? Could that mean... Mukuro Ikusaba's profile's been updated in the Truth Bold section of the handbook. Okay. Does anybody know?
Time is utterly silent, and yet it constantly assaults
new.
us, organisms, the Earth, natural phenomena.
This is new.
It damages us little by little until the end. You should really think about that. Anyway, it's time to begin the class trial. So, please meet up in the usual spot.
I have a question. Does anybody know how long the trial is?
See you later.
That's true. I think to a degree at least. Then the time has come. All we can do now is try to uncover the truth during the class trial.
That's right.
It would seem that way. Let's go. Because they've been getting longer, standard length. So like, we got time. I don't want to. I know there's going to be also a section after it, right? So like, hold on. Before we go in, before we like go, let's go start. We'll go start it, I guess, and get to the save point beforehand. We'll decide. Wait, the fastest or shortest? Oh, okay. Whoa, Byakuya and Makoto showed up together. Where the heck have you two been? You just disappeared without a word. We were investigating, of course. How could you not figure that out by this point? Makoto's ranked high enough for you guys to go off together, just the two of you? Interesting. Okay, Hydra, I see. Just the two of you.
Huh?
What? Are you jealous?
Hey.
Or are you making some kind of creepy fantasy for yourself?
What?
Stop talking and brace yourselves. He'll be here any second. Any second. He could show up at any time. Dr. Freeman. I'm thinking about Monokuma's speech still. I think more than multiverse theory, I would like to reactivate reality marble theory to some degree. When I imagine what was about to happen, I immediately tensed up and prepared myself, but we stood there for 5 full minutes waiting for something weird to happen. And then 5 minutes became 10.
Why?
What's going on here? Why hasn't Monokuma shown up yet?
Could it be?
Maybe he died again? What should we do? Should we keep waiting here? Well, if you wait for 5 minutes, you can legally leave class. In case anybody doesn't know. We have 5 minutes. If a teacher is 15 minutes late, you can legally, by the law, leave. No, it's a meme. It's a meme. It's not real, but you can legally leave class. Or what?
What?
Jesus. Confirming that I was gonna say like Christianity exists, but of course it does. Tell me to do something, Ozzy? Interesting. Can you, before you tell me what to do, can you alert me to like that there's like an important decision point rather than doing the thing? Like is it like a big, because I would love to try to navigate it fully blind if possible. Okay. If I'm about to, I will start moving slowly. Okay, because I would love to figure it out first before I get this. Like if there's an important branching thing here, I would love to do the correct branch, of course, for content purposes. Like for anybody who's watching and not familiar with how I do things, I love to play as blind as possible. I think that's good for, you know, the experience. But oh really? Wait, folks, I totally just didn't register. I usually love that joke because it's funny for like fantasy writing. But yeah, so I think it's good to do a blind playthrough whenever possible. But I also think that because we only get one playthrough on the channel, really, I don't have time to like replay the game really. And we can try to go back and do sections over, but it's not really gonna happen. I do want to give all of you who are watching the best experience possible the first time through, because that's all we can do. So if ever we can get nudged in the right direction, it comes at the expense of the blindness a little bit, but we get to see the game, the parts of the game that we would otherwise miss, which I think is valuable. So I think there's a tough balancing act there, but you know, we'll navigate that as we can.
Come on.
Did I scare you? I demand an explanation. Why did you waste my time and make me wait like that? What? I made you wait? You've got it all backwards. You're the ones making me wait. Good catch, Bloom. Huh?
In other words,
I'm waiting for everyone to arrive. We can't start till everyone's here now, can we? Now, interestingly, in the Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student lying hidden somewhere in the school theory, why was Mukuro allowed to miss the trials? Unless Kyoko is Mukuro. If Kyoko is Mukuro, then she didn't miss the trials. It's true, she could have been disguised. It would have been really hard to miss, I feel like, but it's possible for sure. Hold on. Actually, hold on. Was there a cardboard box somewhere, imagine? I actually have, again, the screenshot log is helpful for us here. Give me 1 second. I'm actually gonna break out the screenshot log. Danganronpa. Screens, apart from the second episode? Like the third, actually. Nope. The fourth, was it really episode 4? It was, jeez. Okay, let me see. I'm just pulling up the CG of the first elevator ride. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That makes sense. So, I see nothing else on this image. It's pretty clean. So fascinating. All right. Well, anyway. Because the thing about Danganronpa, you have to remember, is that on top of the elevator, we didn't see every corner of the elevator. Here's the thing that to remember: Danganronpa plays wildly fair so far. I don't believe the game has played unfairly ever yet in terms of the thriller mystery stuff. I believe the game has always played fair. So there would have to be an indication somewhere that Mukuro was among us the whole time. And I personally think right now, my favorite theory is that it's somebody who was here. What are you talking about? Everyone is here. We've been waiting for you. Sorry, but you're wrong. But I've been waiting 10 minutes now, so it's okay if I punish on making us all wait, right? If we all agree it's a violation, I'll write a punishment right now. If it's me you're waiting for, I'm here. I heard that voice, so I'll spun around to look.
Hey.
I'm here. No rules been broken. Kyoko? Kyoko, you're still alive? No, that's a ghost. Stop talking. If you want to fight, do it at the class trial. You need to save some of the fun for later, right?
What?
But is it okay if there's no penalty for being late?
Is that right?
I made it here just fine. What regulation did I violate? Am I wrong? So selfish, so spoiled. You're right. There's no penalty officially, but I bet you'll be sorry later. No, I'll make sure you're sorry later. God, Kyoko doing what I need now is like a Kyoko like source filmmaker model doing the revolver ocelot spins. I'm sure someone's done that. No, you know what? I'm not sure. That's extremely niche. But someone should do that. Also, your butt's on the elevator. I'm just one step ahead of you. Surely there is an SFM Kyoko model for people doing VR chat or whatever. Monokuma was gone. We all worked up to Kyoko. So the next step is just Kyoko. So you really didn't die?
Indeed.
Of course I didn't die. I missed her. I missed her. Okay. Anyway. I'm getting screenshots for later. Oh, word waffles. Thank God, I'm so glad you're okay. Perhaps, but that's not necessarily a good thing for us. Huh? He's right. Now we gotta deal with a ghost. Hero increasingly melting down is pretty good. I told you, stop talking.
Let's go.
Come on, let's go. Whatever we need to discuss, we can do it during the trial. Without ever looking directly at Kyoko, Byakuya stepped into the elevator. Master, wait for me! Good call. Who knows what happens if we take too long?
But...
I'll be happy when this is all over. One after another, everyone piled into the elevator. But I couldn't help myself. I had to talk to Kyoko before the trial started. Whoa. Oh, yes! This is getting good! Listen, before we get started, I have to ask you. Where have you been this whole time? You used that key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you? So...
Correct.
I went to investigate the second floor of the dorms. The second floor?
That's right.
There aren't any monitors or cameras there, so I was able to avoid Monokuma completely. Of course, I also missed his announcement because of that.
Whew.
I had no idea a body was discovered. Then, when did you find out?
So...
Just now. If any my searching came back down, just in time to give the class trial announcement. I took some time to go over the crime scene first. I can't do good with trial. Missed his announcement, but heard it? Kyoko. I can't go to trial completely uninformed, can I? So that's why you were late.
However...
So I kept you all waiting. Kept you waiting, huh? Wait, that's intentional. Kept you waiting, huh? Second floor of the dorms. Then that's the key you found goes to?
Wrong.
Actually, to be precise, not quite.
In other words,
I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. What?
Just a second.
Hey, what are you two doing? Hurry up before we get in trouble with Monokuma.
Makoto.
We can go over all the details after we get to the trial, okay, Makoto? You might die. Right now, I just want to focus on surviving.
It would seem...
Because this is probably the single most crucial moment so far for me. For her? It's a strange way to put it. The class trial is important for everyone, right? So, why would you say it's important for her?
Goodbye.
Well, that's all. Seemingly unconcerned, Kyoko made her way to the elevator. I'm just overthinking what she said, right? Being the last one left, I stepped into the elevator. I'm trying to think about something real quick. Hold on. This game plays fair, right? I just said that, and I agree with that. Hold on. I'm trying to see if I took screenshots after the first trial. The door slid shut. This time the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears and the dread began to consume me once again. I can't imagine ever getting used to the mental pressure that comes with preparing for an execution. In that dusky darkness, nobody said a word. We just stood there, silent and still. After an immeasurable period of time, the doors opened without warning. A dazzling light penetrated every depth of my eyes. But it wasn't the illuminating light of hope. It was the blinding light of despair. Whoa, what the heck is this?
I can't wait! I can't wait!
Oh, I've been waiting for this. I feel like it's been forever since we got together like this. Time for pointless jokes and jabs is past. Let's get on with the show. And so the curtain opened for the 5th time. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, deadly class trial. I would love to save the data. What's a good... Huh? What happened with the dates here? Huh. Oh, I'm sorry. It's in day month. I'm sorry. I'm like, what is happening here? I can't read. Sorry if I'm not able to read. Oh, okay. Let's see what happened to the UI. Okay. I kind of want to go on a hunt right now for some information. Let me try one thing real quick. What was the first rule change that was made? One second. No breaking out of doors. When was that made? No, the first one was definitely no lending out your handbook. I'm pretty confident about that. That's true, Ozzy. That's true. This track is very good. Here's why. I'm trying to make a called shot. Is why. So hold on, give me 1 second. So I'm gonna find the was it after the first trial? Check quick. Okay. I double checked. So after trial 1 with the swimming pool in the locker room, Celeste was the one who suggested loaning your e-handbook is prohibited. Celeste goes, if boy could borrow a girl's handbook, that would get them into the girl's locker room, would it not? Monokuma goes, to think someone could be so devilish. Okay, how's this sound? As of this moment, loaning your e-handbook is strictly prohibited. Okay. If it was Celeste the whole time, that'd be wild. But my thinking was, I was like, I know Kyoko has been the one who's talked to Monokuma the most about rules changes and rules. So I was curious if this rules thing with Mukuro was legit and Kyoko had been doing that all along. Because my theory is that Kyoko is Mukuro right now. That would be funnier, Bloom, for sure. All rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
I'm on this.
Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
My guy.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost.
Hero. Please.
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
He's right about that.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Byakuya, you're a Danganronpa character. There shouldn't be.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
One important trait that proves the body doesn't belong to her. Her piercing glare, her face, or the limbs.
I got it! I'm talking
And
about her
Kyoko
gloves.
Kyoko's like,
They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
yes.
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse
Yeah, how do you
wasn't
know the
wearing
hero
any
isn't a
gloves,
ghost? It's a
right?
great point.
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion.
Hero!
I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
Hold on. I'm sus. Hold on. Let me let the gears turn for a second. Let me cook. Hold on. No, I'm not that sus. I'm like 10% sus. Tiny amount of sus. I've been saying for like 3 weeks that if Hero were doing a bit, he'd be a wild character. I don't think he is. But imagine. There's no way the corpse is Kyoko, but we can't prove why. We're going to be stuck here in the case we move forward. So I don't have any choice but to... What is happening?
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
I'm a ghost. Interesting. That was the best bit of side dialogue so far. I'm a ghost. Interesting. I love Kyoko. She's so good.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
Okay.
That Kyoko there is just... Okay,
Maybe I am a
then
ghost.
prove it.
The dead body wasn't wearing...
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
By the way, no, that's wrong. Note that we have 7 minutes on the timer. This is going to be a long one,
No.
folks. Buckle up.
There's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big
Well,
pain.
what if she had really big gloves?
Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails. Don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
Please be a bit. Please.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's
Please be a bit. It would be so funny. It would be so funny. If Hero is the Joker, that would be the funniest thing of all time. It would be so funny. It would make everything line up suddenly.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
Alright, yeah.
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life.
How do you know that if your memories are gone? And also, what? Who made them?
If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
Hero's been increasingly sus the last couple trials. I'm just saying I'm starting to get worried about him.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Also, he was the one who was there latest, wasn't he? Hasn't Hero been the one in the garden the most? Everything starts from there. Make your arguments. Tattoo on the right hand. Let's go.
If Kyoko really is still alive,
She's in the room.
then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out.
Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student,
The face was scorched
lying
beyond
hidden
recognition.
somewhere in the
And there
school.
wasn't any description in the Monokuma file.
The
Well,
one they
if we
call
can't
the
identify
ultimate
the
despair.
body,
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
Watch out for her. Okay, that's easy.
If Kyoko really, then who died? There's gotta be some. I don't think so. The face was, and there wasn't any description. Well, if we can't identify the body.
Yes, we can.
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong. So good. We love this.
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
Kyoko real? Huge true. So
What? For real?
for real? Ryuji for real? That MP3?
You're lying. You'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Thank you, Toko.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
What is going on with him?
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Well, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog? Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
The delivery on the line from Toko was very good, though.
No, that's not it.
Thank
the
you.
identity of
Thank
the victim
you.
is hidden
Thank
within that
you.
tattoo.
Whoever voiced Toko had a very good time doing the character.
Oh, really?
There's just so much energy here. All right, clear. Mukuro Ikusaba. There's so many pieces of it. Holy cow!
I got it!
Got it.
The Fenrir Mercenary
Yeah,
Corps.
I hope so.
That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba
I just
belongs
think that's
to.
the impression I get. Is like whenever people do like a very like wild character list, it seems like it's probably a good time.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
Really? This case feels so basic so far. I just think this is so easy. Okay. I'm glad y'all said there was like. I'm still. You know what? This is making me more unsettled now.
Now I understand.
For
The
Toko's lines,
representation
Hydra.
of Fenrir is a wolf.
Here's what I'm confused about. I'm glad y'all told me there's something that we were like expecting. This is like a weird trial. We know something's gonna come up. So we know. All I know is that something weird's gonna happen at this trial. This has been like very baby mode, like case 1 level difficulty. So
Fenrir, the wolf of
I'm getting
Ragnarok.
curious.
It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. And that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
The one behind the whole thing is Junko Enoshima, the 17th student lying hidden somewhere in the school, the one they call the ultimate despair.
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Nodders. Nodders. Okay.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
That would be wild. Even wilder theory. Mukuro has a whole stack of temporary tattoos that there was even water at the scene. No, that's too stupid. There's no way. There's no way. No, that's too dumb. Hold on. No, that's way too dumb. That's way too dumb. I've said that stuff in this game is too dumb before, though. Remember, because like last trial, I was like, it'd be like if everybody, you know, like Sakura kept getting knocked out Looney Tunes style, and everybody like bonked her on the head one time, like a Looney Tunes cartoon, and then that actually happened. Oh, there was water. No.
But I mean,
no, there's no way.
being the ultimate despair
There's no
seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe she was just depressed.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
Ooh, Makoto leaked it.
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets
It turns out
killed.
Mukuro Ikusaba was actually the main. I've never read or seen it, but the main character of Watamote came to mind.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character?
I'm so lost.
Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
Monokuma.
Must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about
Was it,
Mukuro
though?
was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Thank you, Monokuma.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
He said it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place.
Among the
Hammer
students.
that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit
Thank you,
are part
Rufus.
of the student body?
Thank you.
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
It was Hiro.
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been
He
hiding all along.
understands. He understands.
Nope. There are
Oh.
only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Now, just spitballing. What if one of those students died? What if one of those students died, but wasn't actually dead?
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Shunko Enoshima.
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
I don't even know what I'm going to do if I'm right about this. I have literally no idea how I'm going to react.
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Based on what we know, there can only be two suspects, Makoto and Kyoko.
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain.
Oh, now the rant Sona's gonna talk to us.
Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I
Unless
left the
you
garden.
killed them.
However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs.
Okay, thank you, Ozzy. Will do. You think it was Frank saw it? No. What is happening here? Wait, why is this? Oh, that's not time. That's not time spending game. Okay.
All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
So the only suspects now are me and Kyoko. Damn it, I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name. Stand?
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
I am. Objection.
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at, well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? When she went to go get the pickaxe.
Fascinating. So just to be clear, you're telling me that Toko, who then flipped into Genocide Jack, was the only person who saw the body first, alone. A known serial killer.
I got it!
9
The
o'clock.
body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Now then, Toko, what time is it? 9 on the dot now. Okay, you're back by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
No.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
But if the corpse got wet, we're good. Murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. I don't know about from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. But the game has begun. If If I can't find an alibi for that period, then I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. Make your arguments. Okay. Sprinklers.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It
Whoa,
took
very
place
short time.
somewhere
Holy cow.
Between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Whoa.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Okay, the garden, yep.
We've established...
It took place somewhere between 10 and 9 o'clock.
Yep,
And Makoto does...
Yeah, from to 7:30.
What? Come on, Makoto, just feel it. Makes me think something weird's going on.
Shoot!
Okay.
We've...
Like, my Twitch thing got screwed up. Yeah, we're good, sorry. Alright, back to it.
It took place somewhere between 10 and...
And 9 o'clock in...
yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Who's counting?
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
I think I'm one step ahead.
Shoot!
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night...
Oops. Yeah, that's...
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock.
No, Makoto, Hina's saying that's when we have an alibi after 7:30 because we were in the gym, in the dining hall.
To 7:30.
Flashback one, good question. I don't think so. What are we gonna flashback? The only options are 10 o'clock at night and 7:30. And we could flashback 7:30, but that doesn't help us at all, right? I don't think so.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any...
Any objections, now would be the time.
I'm so confused.
We've
right
established
now.
a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think.
So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and
I
Makoto
kind of
doesn't
regretted
have an
that right away.
alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Wait, what? Wait, what makes the 10 p.m. wrong? Oh. Oh, so the 7:30 is wrong? Oh, this is very weird. We're cheating a little bit here, but that's okay. Yeah, don't tell me yet. So this is Byakuya. So yeah, no. So it's all consistent here. So Byakuya is right that the time frame is between 10 and 9, and Aoi's saying Makoto's is not accounted for between 10 and 7:30, which is true. So we have to prove that the murder happened between 7:30 and 9, which is why I shot the sprinklers at 7:30. And also the body condition. Did we shoot? We didn't shoot fragments yet, right? I'm very
We've
confused.
established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Wait, what is incorrect? I don't think so. Makoto's unaccounted for until he shows up in the dining hall, which is at 7:30. The group, as far as the group knows, that's the case. Because he goes to bed right before 10, so he's unaccounted for from 10 to 7:30. Yes. Yes, that is what the group knows right now. We're trying to prove, right? I said, oh, I'm sorry, but it's not the line's not right. Right. But the reason why I'm confused is that we can't shoot the 9 o'clock part.
10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to so Makoto, if you have any objections.
I think that's why I'm hung up. This is if we have to shoot sprinklers at 10 o'clock, is that super weird?
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Okay.
No,
Okay.
it's wrong.
You're right. Okay, never mind. Okay, I get it now.
Actually,
I was really
the
thinking about
murder
this one
couldn't
sideways.
have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock.
Right.
It had to have taken place way later.
No, it's okay. No, it's all good. I was really not. I was overcomplicating it massively. And the writing was a little awkward. No, it's not that awkward. Doing the 2 time frames is confusing. Yeah, no, we're good now. Everything's good. Okay, we're good.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet?
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Yes, Toko, I am.
You're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
Mod check. Okay, Toko certain evidence. I should do it. All right. What? Oh my God! Really? I don't want to do this.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No! I don't know anything. Hold on. Are you trying to
Oh, let's go. Oh,
How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
This should prove it.
let's go. Oh. Was Toko even
Just remember what the
flipped at
body
this
was
point?
like after the explosion, and you'll see why
I think
it wasn't the
Toko's
sprinklers.
fixated on this because she wasn't there really. Either she was knocked out from the explosion or she was genocide Joel at the time.
The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal mean! I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
What about the tarp though?
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock
Oh.
last night to 7:30
I think it just hit me.
this
So
morning, right?
Byakuya might bring up the tarp, but then we can bring up the tarp was grimy.
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
I think. Although, what's the other side was clean? But neither side should be totally clean if the tarp was used, right? Either it should be, like, grimy from the blood on the body, or from the ground, or from, I don't know, or it should be wet.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Kyoko's the only one without an alibi. Between the Mukuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone? That's entirely plausible.
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever.
Ayo. I'm gonna take a quick save. I'm gonna take a save real quick. Okay, hold on. Don't say anything yet. Wait, okay. Should I kind of want to just see how it goes? Not trust Kyoko? Okay, but I'm gonna trust Kyoko. Sorry.
Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone.
Uh-oh.
This is a trap the mastermind has laid.
Making one more save just to be safe.
A trap?
We're this far into the game, and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial. Something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
Dude is so sweaty right now.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Yes, you're going to go over his mastermind? Yes.
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
What part?
I got it!
Easy. What?
You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did.
But the killer was Junko Inoshima.
The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Why would Kyoko say that? Why would you want anything look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. Well, a couple things come to mind. One, if she's framing us, Kyoko used this as bait all the time. If someone gets super aggro right now, that's gonna look bad for them. Because usually, like Kyoko said, the tarp must have been touched the body, right? As predicted with the body.
Wait, something's not right.
And what might that be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said. Okay. So with the missive to not trust Kyoko, I think that's I think that is fair enough. We're not going to trust Kyoko. We're sus of Kyoko. I think that's fair to be sus of Kyoko right now. Keep that in mind.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water.
Okay, we're shooting here, I think.
Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Let's go.
No, it's wrong.
Last one too, so we don't have to loop. Beautiful.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it.
If you really think about it. If you really think about it.
Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Huh? The blood was camouflage?
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Chicken blood.
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens.
Okay, I'm listening.
But after the murder,
I'm
there were
mostly
only
along
4.
for the ride right now. I'm a little lost, to be honest with you,
So
in terms of my
you're
theory
saying
crafting.
someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is
Oh,
awful.
yes, the
They should have at least
good
eaten it.
point. That's what the plant's for.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make
Yes.
sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
The duct tape.
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off, but the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
And the suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. Brewing theory that we're trying to get executed to prove that we're not actually getting killed by Monokuma?
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one.
In game show theory, like advanced game show theory?
Makoto's alibi is no
Not
good, so
confident about
once
that one.
again,
That's
our
a low,
suspects
that's
are
a
him
low,
and
low
Kyoko.
confidence call.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back.
Luck is bad. I don't like the gacha games. I mean, the gacha part of gacha games. You know what I mean? I don't like rolling.
So,
It's bad.
what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
The knife. We can't let Togo keep it, that's for sure. Yeah, so doesn't want it. What to do? Why don't you hang out to Makoto? Oh, me.
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
Fake murder when theory just games. True. It is a pretty big knife.
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
I couldn't be sure of what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Thank you, Hero. Considering everything up until now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. Ooh, getting a little tense in here. Okay, It's the body, not all the stories of the dead body. The body was found. Okay. Dead body. Okay.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
Same notes. Here we go.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no
Not
question.
sure.
You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Toko's been so useless this trial. Oh my god, he has been so negative net value to the group.
The knife.
Okay.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of
Why
that.
was there no blood from the knife though?
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
I think it's something into the stabbed is getting stabbed.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
You don't
Just
have either
because
of
I
those, I
had
don't
the
think
knife
so.
once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
No, it's
Let's
wrong.
go. Whew. That was stressful.
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
Wasn't there a bludgeoning involved? Yeah, struck in the head. No way that's possible.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab
Let's
wound.
go.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Hero,
And
please.
the knife.
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence
Sounds like
proving
a
otherwise.
frame job, huh?
Oh, hey, I have a question.
No, that's wrong.
It kinda goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a
Great
sudden
question,
like that?
Gina.
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion!
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Byakuya, why can't you tell her?
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
Tell her, Naegi. Yeah.
That's only natural, because of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma.
Oh, I think it's a SNES
It's
controller.
part of a bomb.
Oh! Then
like
the
Super
explosion
Famicom.
was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. We need to concentrate. I don't have this one yet, folks. Okay, here we go. Our flashback
Then shall
finger's
we
ready
continue
to...
the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The
But it was
explosion
blunt,
didn't
though.
kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file...
Blunt chicken, so
that's gotta
true.
be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Was it the back of the head?
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
What do we... Let's see. I can only think of one thing that could have killed her. Wait, what?
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has...
Wait, what? They beat her over the head with the bomb? Maybe it was a chicken. I know it's stupid, but maybe it's possible. Maybe it is a chicken.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file... That's gotta be it! There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when
Do we
that
know that?
happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her.
Could someone have just like bashed her head against the ground? She said she was hit with like an object though, right? Yeah, an object. Several days old. Let's say countless wounds with Monokuma file.
Then shall we continue the debate?
The victim's fatal. The explosion didn't kill her.
Well, yeah.
Because that'll help. That's the thing we need to contradict. Like that seems to be unrelated.
Be it. There was, and more than that,
The victim had suffered countless wounds across her
goddamn.
entire body.
Then we'll hit
then
that.
shall we continue?
The victim's fatal.
The goal was to
Well,
contradict
yeah.
here, right? The goal was to find contradictions.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Shoot.
Then shall we
this
continue
is
the
brutal.
debate?
Entirely fair. Let's hold off for now. I'm gonna try to figure this out. Okay. I don't think this is helpful.
The victim.
The fatal injury is
explosion
Monokuma
didn't
from
kill
it?
her for sure.
I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead
Do
when
we
that
know
happened.
that though?
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then shall we continue the debate?
This is making my brain hurt.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
They were dead before the blast. Okay, that is confirmed. Could it have been the back of the knife or something?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't
True,
me
yeah.
because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Maybe it's flashback
Oh, yeah.
knife?
According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now.
the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
In process.
Then
in
shall we
fact.
continue the debate?
the victim's fatal injury has
No, that's wrong. Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
Okay, that's a little weird because I did call that one out because that was also wrong. But
The
it is what it is.
Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh
It is what it is.
wounds.
We take the W here.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
okay. Then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe.
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd and cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
The Monokuma file.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder
Yeah,
weapon.
I got it. Oh my god. We can show arrows now, but if it was a blow to the back of the head, that wouldn't make any sense. The bomb? I mean, it's possible. What if it was a knife bash? Hi, Shrew. Oh, we're in the tank right now. We are in the tank right now. Oh, what? What happens if we time out? Don't tell me what happens. I'm thinking about that right now. I don't think so. Oh, about the ghost, you mean? Was that a non-stop debate? Prove that she's not a ghost. Yeah. We did have that. This is as close as we've gotten so far, I think. But that's not the weapon itself, clearly. I want to push that. I know. I'm curious. He's so appalled he can't even talk. You can see that, right, Makoto? How do you know? Well, that's why he treats me. It's like we have a psychic link. Okay, that's not it. Okay. Oh, we've lost credibility. Great. Oh, we'll take a quick. Okay. 3 minutes. I like fully don't understand.
Shoot!
I was trying to save so not to go back, which is not great. What if Mukuro Ikusaba punched them in the back of the head? And this isn't Mukuro Ikusaba. No, I don't think that's it. I know, but I like literally, I'm like fully at a loss here. We'll go with if we're not thinking too hard, we'll go with either fragments or did we do fragments yet? I think we did. Let's go knife.
Shoot!
Well. We've never gamed over yet. The wood block key? Yeah, that's fair enough. Covered in duct tape? Yeah, maybe. No. Our first L. Nobody believes me. No one wants to hear what I have to say. Uh-oh. We come to the end of the debates? Well, then, the class trial is officially adjourned. It's time to reveal who's the blackened. It would appear the one with the most votes is Makoto. However, Makoto is not the blackened. It's too bad. It's like the real killer gets to graduate. Congratulations to them. On the other hand, everyone else now must be punished.
Is this really the end for all of us?
Yes.
I refuse to give up yet.
Oh. Oh, nice.
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
There's auto-saving? I didn't know that.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point.
Oh, phew.
If they were old, I guess they don't really
That's a relief.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
The hint is we have to think about more than one piece of evidence to have the answer.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The arrows are made of titanium, I guess?
Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible?
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her.
I'm just confused because arrows are so thin. And they're flexible. That just like doesn't track at all to me logistically.
And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
That makes no sense to me.
Arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Oh, are you saying they duct taped the arrows together and made a big arrow? That is pretty funny.
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
It's very...
Are you sure? That sounds... kind of weird.
Okay.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master! You have no right!
I'm not backtalking
Segment
anything.
sponsored by
I'm
Big
just
Arrow.
saying what I think.
Where's I thought the Big Arrow spokesperson was Hawkeye Goff from Dark Souls 1. I don't blame me or doubting it, because it's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. Okay.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
What?
Talking back to Master! You have no right!
I missed.
The titanium, it was in the dojo.
7 minutes,
no doubt.
yeah,
You sure?
right.
You don't sound
Well, because in the... it said the weapon must have... It seems like an arrow would just be too...
No, that's wrong. You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why
I
the
fired
killer used another
then
weapon.
missed.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker,
No,
he
that's
also
wrong.
found a balled up wad of duct tape.
You're right.
The killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what
Okay.
the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
I wonder if this was originally a Japanese myth instead of Aesop's fables.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course.
Metal
Don't
pipe
lean,
pounding on
Makoto.
floor sound effects.
What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to the death of us all. Remember?
So, I'm trying. So now here's the problem. I've been mind flooded by the hint from earlier that we don't want to trust Kyoko. So, yes. What I'm thinking right now is we don't want to. We can't. We have to be very sus of everything she's saying right now, which means we have to be sus of her fronting very obviously.
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
Evidence?
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is...
I'm gonna save real quick just to be safe.
right here. The key to the dojo locker.
Just to be safe.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Exactly. Not evidence at all. Her key was with Byakuya.
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
Hyde goes in, Kyoko's the culprit. You can't explain that.
I was just protecting you.
Huh?
What?
She was protecting me? Does that mean she knew I was being attacked? And she came to my rescue. Could that be when... Does she mean like Kyoko? She killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait, I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
You had the key. Byakuya should know better than anyone? What does that mean?
Those words...
That sounds plausible. Hold on, I have to use the rush number attack. And we're back. Okay, sorry, let's step away for a second. Here we go. What is this? Oh, we're in a thing right now, right?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from
Yes,
me.
he would.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done...
Those words you just spoke.
What do they mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
She speaks only lies right now.
What are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Right now I'm using the Rode Pod mic. Not the Pog mic, the Pod mic. I used a Blue Yeti before this. Go on him.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said.
A little lost right now.
I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
It is a phenomenal mic so far, and the price point is ridiculous for how good it is. There's also a really good Audio Technica on the price point, but the Rode mic is just like, it's the good stuff. And Shure as well, of course. Yeah, it's just like for the price of, $100, it's like, if it's anywhere close, it's good. Now, of course, the big cost is it is XLR only, so you do have to get set up with a mixer. So that's a cost alongside. Byakuya stated there was no corpse in the garden just after nighttime last night, so it can be assumed the murder must have taken place sometime after that. He also said that he, Yasuhiro, Toko, and Ali were in the gym the entire night, and none of them were alone at any place. Yes.
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room.
Could we fire the key at her? Oh, this is very confusing now.
But could I really have done that?
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly what I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
The snowball's honestly very solid, especially with the price point.
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly.
I'm not the killer.
You should understand that.
Byakuya, what are you
I'm
hiding?
trying to, Hydra.
Master would never hide something from me.
There's proof that
You aren't the culprit.
Let's go! First try. Okay. Oh, that feels good. We're trying to figure. We're
If
trying
I'm
to.
right,
Yeah.
Kyoko
Yep.
wouldn't have been
Okay,
able
nice.
to get into her room.
Oh, we made it a little complicated to get us there, but let's go. Ooh, that feels good.
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
But we also know that Kyoko had a skeleton key.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room,
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my
Alright.
room key,
Sus.
I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
it would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us, an obvious lie. But this just isn't like her. I agree! To try and save herself was such a desperate lie? Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Or is it something else? Was there some deeper meaning in what Kyoko said earlier? If you vote for me, and I die here, the mystery of the school will stay hidden forever. Because she's the mastermind? The mastermind's trap. The mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko? Yeah, Kyoko's, I don't know. What if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I... The mastermind's trap? The victim was Mukuro and Kyoko killed her? What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it, but who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? Mastermind's trap. Spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. You know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? What do I do? I have to oh my god. I have to decide right here and now whether or not to expose Kyoko's lie. Okay. Big choice moment here. You're not allowed to save. The truth is revealed, the innocent will be spared. True. My thinking is Kyoko would never have told us unless she was trying to get us to expose it, is my feeling. Run away is ultimate big. I think that this is a setup of some kind, and I don't know where she's going with it, but there's no way she would have told us unless she wanted us to do this. And so we need to not... Yeah. So we are pursuing this.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
I don't want to do it to her, but I'm going to trust... I'm trusting in the Kyoko that trusts in me.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you.
She's either trying to get us to expose it, or she's being so obvious because she's trying to send a signal that we not do it. That's fair. We've saved a million times though, so we can go back. I had to do it.
So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
Kyoko is definitely lying, mostly because there's some other deeper truth she wants to keep hidden. This is the good stuff. Let's go. Wait, will I still know when the break point for the evening is?
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then, when we searched Kyoko's room, how else could the key have gotten there?
Someone other than me must have put it there. That's the only explanation. I didn't have the key to my because I'd given it to Byakuya.
Reach out to the truth,
There's no
folks.
doubt about that, right?
Reach out to the truth.
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
No, that's wrong.
I'm sorry, Kyoko. I'm sorry.
No. Kyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself. Didn't you, Kyoko?
I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. What?
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school, which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing...
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it. So I lost. That's all this means.
Huh? Then, are you saying you really didn't... Kyoko, you really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
I'm gonna vote for Junko.
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
I'm gonna vote for Junko.
It's because you were late, so the
No one can
trial
stop
started
me.
late and time ran out. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you. But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't we?
Oh. Oh, they got a bad end, folks. Yeah. We didn't get to vote, so this is a bad end, I guess? Good job, you got it right. Brilliantly right. You got it right? Does that mean Kyoko really is the killer? But something strange is going on here. There's something wrong with this whole class trial. Kyoko.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment. Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
What the hell? I don't like these guys. Don't kill Kyoko, please. I'm going to miss her. No. Oh no. And that's how the class trial of Mikuru Ikusawa came to an end. I still don't wonder whether Kyoko is really innocent or regardless, the truth is lost forever, even for me. I just stopped thinking about it. That was the end of Mukuro's class trial, and in the end, it proved to be our last class trial. Once the case was over, there was never a single murder at Host Peak ever again. We had obtained peace in exchange for the lives of all the others. Oh, this is an ending? Oh. Oh. Peace, but only inside the school. Peace, but only for us. That was the only hope we had. Hope. Hope. Hope? This is hope? Okay.
No! This isn't right!
Very cursed image. Huh?
Makoto, why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
Excuse me? Makoto would just Hero predicts this in his first social link? Wait, what? I'm losing my mind right now. I'm losing my mind. What is happening? Don't tell me what's happening, obviously. So apparently we couldn't talk about Danganronpa VR earlier because it ends with that punishment scene from Kyoko's perspective. Oh my god, Hero's right 33% of the time. And there were 3 choices. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, that's right, I have to expose Kyoko's lie or not. He says the mother of your children and the mother of my children will be the same woman. Oh my god. If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. Okay, yep. Alright. Okay, I messed up. I'm sorry, I messed up. What do I do? Alright, so... what does run away mean? The only winning move is not to play? I'm kind of curious what happens if we just say run away. Okay, never mind. Never mind. My bad. My bad. The only one... if we just left the trial, what would Monokuma do, right? Okay. Let it go. I made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here. Something that has to do with the mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
So it's weird, right? So yeah, so as Shrew was saying earlier, the situation is that Kyoko told us that explicitly so that way we'd refuse to, that like we know she was trusting us earlier with the weapon that could have killed her.
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
Wait, which key?
It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said,
oh, I love this.
It's a trap the mastermind set for us.
So yeah, this is super rare.
This has to be...
I think this is a fantastic moment for Kyoko character-wise, because her whole arc has been about trust, and this is like the ultimate trust from her. Same, like completely just like all in. Her life is in Makoto's hands. If we don't trust her.
Okay, time's up!
Monokuma, Mukuro, Kuma, Kuro.
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up.
Oh,
Since when are
true.
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time.
There's never been a timer on the trials before, has there?
So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Voting time?
We'd love to see it. Do we have to? I think we have to stop now. If we can save here.
Now, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
I hate this. It is so late though. Is this the moment where? Is this the branch point? Wait, it was different this time? Yes. Anybody was saying earlier about like a breakpoint. Is this the breakpoint, or is there a different breakpoint later on? Because I can go another few minutes if it's like coming up, if there's an obvious breakpoint. But this was a fairly obvious breakpoint. Incoming. Okay.
Hey, hold on!
Okay. Almost over. That's fine.
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
This is also different voice clip than before. Wait, what? What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's all your fault. Everyone, you're wrong. So yeah, right. If this is game show theory, I'm about to pop off so hard. And I didn't do it.
Yes, indeed.
Good job, everyone. Good job?
Yep.
They got it right. No, I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. This whole trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey!
It makes perfect sense.
Shing!
Same as always, just like all the other class trials, I'm gonna end it the same way.
Kills! Chills! Kills!
Yep. Wait, why do I... Kyoko.
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko?
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
So, if we end up with in the back room and Junko is there, I'm gonna be... I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Oh. Oh. Well, this looks fairly hard to escape. It's the same sequence. Now, generic. So, The other option is we switch protagonists. The third option is we get taken back to the decision point again, but we have to pick Runaway. And it requires you to loop. Was that alter ego? Oh my god. Wait. Wait. The ultimate hacker. And the ultimate lucky student. Oh, wait. Hold on. Wait. If that was that alter ego? Because if it was I thought it was Makoto in the picture. But if it was, then my prediction that alter ego had gotten into the network was 100% correct. Was that? Yeah, it had to be.
This is
alter ego? Alter ego? Is this some stupid virus from that stupid guy? Must have planted when he invaded my network. Damn it all to hell, I don't believe this.
It would seem...
Seems you finally made a miscalculation. Oh my god. No, you miscalculated in the very beginning.
What the heck?
Was that?
In other words...
What I'm saying is you shouldn't have underestimated us. Why are you talking like you already won? I barely felt a thing. It was a pinch, an itch. Stupid virus is gone now. Got it, and so is Makoto. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you're never gonna see him again. To waste away in a garbage-strewn pit in a way, this is even better special punishment. But it's still not enough. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still gonna bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the rest of the world. So true. Is he gone? Kyoko, what's the meaning of all this? Just what the hell is going on?
Calm down.
It's okay. We're not the ones being trapped this time. Huh?
In other words...
Now it's the mastermind that's ensnared.
What did you say?
What are you talking about?
So...
You'll understand soon enough. Very soon indeed. Okay. So now we're gonna save, I think? With this unbelievable hint for tomorrow. Because now we're feeling like that's resolved, but also like... Day one, repeat. We're looping. If we get to loop, this is gonna be sick. If we loop, Junko can still be the mastermind. Okay. Anyway, folks of Twitch, hold up. Folks of YouTube, thank you so much for being here. This has been a long one, but oh my god. Oh my god. This is so wild. Thank you all for being here. I'm Essel. If you have not yet, make sure you consider subscribing to the channel to find more VODs and other content from me, including news coverage, eventually edited videos, and more, and great community posts. Come by the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Essel_TV, Sunday to Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, for more contents. So hopefully we'll see you live. Come join us live. If you didn't make it for the live Danganronpa 1 streams, you can probably be there for Danganronpa 2 or 3 streams, which are coming down the road at some point. So stay tuned for more. Hopefully I will see you live sometime soon, and until next time, peace.